It's the most popular smartwatch by sales figures, but you and I know that sales aren't everything. The biggest question is if this really is the best product in its category and worth the extra Apple tax. I'm Jaime Rivera with Pocketnow, and join us for our second look at the Apple Watch. Here at Pocketnow, we are fond of review rebuttals, mainly because the needs of one editor are very different to the needs of others. Michael's review has been live for the last few weeks, but he likes to wear plaid and shorts, and I'm still the oddball that wears a polo and tucks it inside his jeans. I'm particularly very picky about watches, mainly because I have to actually like one in order to be willing to use it, or let alone buy it. So it's only fair that I clarify that when deciding what smartwatch to buy a few months ago, I jumped the gun for a stainless steel Moto 360, not the Apple Watch. Part of my decision had to do with the price versus looks of the Apple Watch. Don't get me wrong, but the 7000 series aluminum matched with the polyasomer on the watch band do feel top-notch, and the flexible OLED display looks far better than most of its competitors, but the design around it doesn't really stand out, and that's really what jewelry is all about in my opinion. You really have to like a watch in order to be willing to pay twice the amount of competing products, and that's not the case here. This 42mm variant feels small in my very large wrist, and its round corner design only reminds me of a Casio watch from the 90s. The only cool part of its design is that swapping bands for it is very practical, so long as you don't pay the Apple tax for them. Thankfully, Amazon is full of third-party options, and while not Apple approved as of yet, they do change things dramatically for around $30. Once you've got the looks figured out, then things start to ease in, and that's very important since using the Apple Watch is actually where you notice where the price difference is. See, there is a substantial difference in using the Apple Watch to any other smartwatch. The UI is clearly an example, giving users different selections of watch faces that you can customize with your particular needs. I value fitness activity, weather information, and battery life, and this chronograph phase is the one that most appeals to me when it comes to visuals, though you can do this with every other watch phase. Yes, you don't get any options for third-party watch phases, but I'll take it for the added functionality. Glances at the bottom are also useful for controlling things that actually matter to you, and the cool thing is you can actually remove them if you want to. And notifications sliding from the top are also gestures that you're used to. The company's emphasis on third-party applications is also noticeable with the hidden app tray, and installing these compatible applications is very simple and straightforward through the iOS application. The software also has some cool little tricks up its sleeve. Taking off the watch locks it immediately and very consistently as an added security bonus, and you also get activation lock features with watchOS 2, so you don't have to worry about somebody stealing your watch. You'll also notice that it is extremely reliable at detecting when you raise your wrist, and when that's done as well. The Taptic engine built in also does a reliable job at keeping you alerted in a very subtle way, and the bell tones used on the watch are also something pleasant. Overall, there's no denying that the Apple Watch does far more than its competitors, but doing more isn't necessarily a good thing. See, I join Michael in his thoughts that using the Apple Watch can tend to feel convoluted due to its user interface. For starters, the digital crown is nice to have, but confusing in its operation. Scrolling around things is nice, but not being able to press the button to select something is awkward. You have to press the screen. You'd think that Apple would be smart enough to use the other button to go home, but no, it's misused for contacts. Force touch technology is also very cool to have, but you either never know when the option's available, or you're probably not pressing the display hard enough. This is more of a learning curve, though, that's worth getting used to because there are things that this watch does right. Fitness is a major example. I find myself going back to the Apple Watch all the time, mainly because it does fitness better than any other modern wearable built by a smartphone OEM. Instead of being an extension of your phone, you can actually go for a run or for a bike ride just with the Apple Watch, or you can even use it for internal workouts without needing to bring the iPhone, which is a major benefit, particularly if you use an iPhone 6 Plus. The heart rate sensor is fully active during the time that you confirm that you're training, and its results are rather accurate, not necessarily because you care about your heart rate, but really because you want an accurate calculation of your calories, and that's something that's an added benefit of the Apple Watch. The watch also does a good job at calculating your calories while you move every 10 minutes, and it reminds you to stand every hour, which is great. Surely this is no Garmin for those professionals out there that want something extremely accurate with GPS functionality and everything, but if you're getting started in the fitness world, I would highly recommend this watch. If you're concerned about battery life with all this fitness activity, well, I'd say it depends. If you train for more than an hour or two, then you'll probably finish the day with one charge. But if you don't train at all, you'll notice the Apple Watch will last for more than a day. If you train for more than that, then yeah, you'll probably only get half a day. Then there are the other things that the Apple Watch does almost right, like for example phone calls. I hate the fact that in Android where you get notifications of a call but you can't really take it, in the Apple Watch you actually can take the call. The problem is the speaker is terrible, though again, it's cool to have the option here. I also wish Siri would use the speaker to respond to me whenever I call on it, but I guess nothing's perfect. Then there are the gimmicks like sending taps to a friend, or the current state of Apple Watch applications which are slower to launch on the watch than on the phone, making you not really use these things. They are things that are nice to have, but things that you would rarely call upon until Apple figures these things out, and hopefully that happens with watchOS 2. Most of these gimmicks are really good ideas, but they do lack the maturity needed for users to want to go back to them. And I guess that's the best way to describe my last couple of weeks with the Apple Watch. This is a very, very good idea that could benefit from a less convoluted UI and more mature design options. I'd personally find it very hard to stop using it because it really does fitness better than any other smartwatch, but your priority should determine if this alone is enough to warrant the big price tag. For all it can do, I do see myself stretching my pocket for a sports model like this one and pimping it out for now, but I wouldn't spend a dime until the Apple Watch 2 comes out and figures the rest of the things out. And if you're still on the ropes trying to consider if the Apple Watch is right for you, I would probably use this same mentality as well. Folks, again, this is our second look at the Apple Watch, so be sure to watch Michael Fisher's initial thoughts, and also make sure you follow us on social media and subscribe if you haven't. You can also follow me on Twitter at Jaime_Rivera or on Instagram at Jaime Rivera. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I am Jaime Rivera. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you on the next video.